This is a Musclecat Media production.
Happy weekend, everybody. It's Baseball Expats, kind of. Rolsey is calling games for the WBSC Under-18 World Cup in Japan. So it's the Expats. It's just Eric and Spoon. And we've got a real simple episode for you today. We're going to update you on our Destiny draft, how the status is going, I guess. We each have 3 players. We're competing against each other. It's a busy sports week. And give you 4 picks. And mind you, we gave you 3 winners on last week's show and a tidy little profit. Spoon, it's a busy sports calendar. Thanks for jumping on. Give the people what they need for these next 15, 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, not a problem, man. Happy to have American football back today, albeit the game was deteriorating rapidly, as was the conditions. And it was a funny watch for me because obviously no fantasy players for myself or you, but we've got a big matchup this weekend. So we'll be friends here on the pod and we'll team up to try and find some winners and value for the punters. But offline, we are in the midst of rivalry round.
We also have there's baseball tomorrow. We're going to have our picks for the games tomorrow, but there's a football game on tomorrow, I'm pretty sure, too. Like the Chiefs
in Brazil
play on a weird Friday night one, and we've got some players in both of them, so I can't wait to watch that. I'm sure our group chat will be more alight than it normally is. There's also some big baseball, dude. Before we get into our picks, quick takeaways from the baseball world. I'll start actually with an MLB one, then I'll go to the World Cup. Jays Yankees, man. This is a big one this weekend. This feels like the Yankees' last sort of shot to make a dent on the Jays, and it changes the whole complexion of the playoff race if the Yankees can sweep or even get a series win. So I'm liking this big September baseball. It's been a couple years since I experienced it, but I'm fired up for this weekend. We got football, we got Jays Yankees, and then we've got my Buffalo Bills play on the Monday morning.
Yeah, it's back. Sports. I mean, I think March is probably the best month in the world or in the year for a sporting fan, but September would be a close second. I think, we got the pointy end of some seasons and the beginning of the others. And yeah, your point on the Yankees, I don't know how much you caught of the Yankees Astros over the last few days, but it had to be the weirdest series ever. Like just some of the officiating that went on, some of the calls, like, I don't know if you saw the circulating, there's a photo of the home plate umpire from yesterday's game just like hanging out in a Red Sox shirt like for the last 20 years. And he just made like 20 horrible calls and 18 of them were against the Yankees. So it was a weird series. They're obviously playing with a bit of fire and it is, I guess, a danger time to probably come up against them if you're Toronto. But they've answered the call all year and I think you've got to have some level of confidence that they're going to do the same.
Yeah, and then Boone asking umpires to check bats and crazy 4 runs today in the 8th inning or whatever it was. Like there's a bit of fire in that, and the Yankees are starting to get their spark back. People always talk about playing your best baseball late, but sometimes it's about not playing your worst as well, right? The Yankees obviously went through a slump. And if you're going to pick a time to slump, it's probably in June and July when you can expose some of your flaws, make some trades, and still have a runway to build back up to playing good baseball. So Yankees are still a little scary, dude.
Yeah, compare that to the Astros. They've got that whole Framber Valdez situation going on. Apparently a lot of tension in the clubhouse over that. And yeah, just their win against them yesterday was the first time they've beaten the Yankees at home in like 4 years. So we've talked about the AL West as a division that someone just needs to have a good week really and win. And the Mariners, I think, got swept against Tampa this week, and the Astros only took 1 against the Yankees at home. No one seems to want to win the AL West, but someone's going to have to.
Dude, and that's the sweep was huge, and I can't believe that the Texas Rangers kind of blew an opportunity to maybe jump in a wild card, but it's tightened things up, right? Like the Tampa Bay Rays were 5 games back. They sweep Seattle. Now they're 2 games back. And all of a sudden, it feels like a 4-horse race for one spot. Seattle, the leader in the clubhouse. But Texas, they're back. I thought they were kind of dead, but then they're back to what I thought they were. Yeah. They're 7-3 in their last 10. Kansas City is 71-69, and Tampa Bay is suddenly in the mix. Like, it is bizarre, dude. It is weird.
It's funny though. I think Arizona's taken like 5 out of 6 against Texas in the last 3 weeks, and that's really what stopped them actually making that run. Like I don't know. It seems like the guys genuinely were taking it personally off the back of the World Series a couple of years ago, and have just tried to play spoiler, which I guess is what you do when you're a team that's out of contention now. You have to kind of create those storylines to self motivate, right? But you could tell it meant a lot to guys like Ketel Marte and. You're right. I mean, the Rangers could be in there rather than needing results to go their way. They kind of had the opportunity to control their destiny, and they failed to grab it.
Crazy. It's going to be fun. On the other side of the world, under-18 World Cup's going on. You can listen to those other preview pods on the past show. Andrew Reynolds over there calling right now. Big upset on that one early on at the time of recording. Germany wins 5-4 over Australia. Australia led 4-2. They were up most of the game. Germany score 3 late runs to come back and stun Australia. But it was a weird game, dude. Like, Australia had leadoff runners aboard for the last 5 innings of the game, and they could only score in one of those 4 innings. They got picked off on the bases once. They lined into a double play, which was just unlucky. And then they had runners on first and third, bottom of the last, 1 out. And unfortunately, they just couldn't find that hit when it mattered the most. So it was a great game to watch. Rolsey called a great game, as he always does. But, man, that's a tough one for Australia, and I'm sure Rolsey and I will have to break that down on Sunday night when we do our little recap show of the first few days.
Yeah, one tangent I guess wanted to add to that. I don't know if you guys covered it in your last episode, but at some point in the last week, if we're trusting Rolsey's math, and that is a pretty big if, to be fair, Baseball Expats crossed the 50 episode mark, which is awesome. And as a guest on the show, I just wanted to say you and Rolsey do a great job pumping out all different types of content and all different levels of baseball in all corners of the world. So it's been a joy to kind of be a part of that this year, and I'm looking forward to what 2026 brings for Baseball Expats.
You are the expats as much as we are, Spoon, but even more so, you are the commissioner of the Dynasty Draft League. Now, for those that don't know what a Dynasty Draft is, it's a game we've been playing most of this season, and it works this way. It's pretty simple. Spoon's got couple packs of Topps unopened baseball cards. There's like 15 cards in each of those packs, and they're your standard packs. We'd have no idea what's in them, right? They're just random baseball players, some major league, some minor league. Now, that's our player pool. We open 2 packs. We got a player pool of 30, and then we go to draft. We each pick 3 players. We've got 3 stat categories, and we've been doing this for a few weeks now, every other week or so, and I'm the leader in the clubhouse, but this week is a weird one because you and I had good weeks last before. I had a good week 2 weeks ago when I lost. You just had a great week. So I got to tip your cap there. This week feels a bit different, but how about you give us an update on what the teams are looking like and where we are standings-wise?
Yeah, sure. So I think, and credit to yourself, you've done a great job with the tipping the last few weeks to the point of probably carrying the 2 of us. And that carrying might have led to some back issues because both Lugo and Yelich have gone to the IL with back problems, and that is not what you want when you have a week to maximize points. So I can announce right now that Lugo's given you 0 points, Yelich has given you 0 points, and Riley Green has given you 2 points. So, look, you'd still need to somehow get a negative score from here to get a score worse than the worst ever score, which was mine in week 2, because I pulled off a 1. So you're probably safe of that. But it goes without saying that your 2 points has you in 3rd place for the week so far.
I'm in trouble.
Yeah, I had a mixed start, and I've had a mixed week, really. Darvish only went 4 innings, so I picked up a couple of points there. He did manage 6 strikeouts and allowed 3 earned runs. So he's got me 5. Ian Happ's had a really solid week so far. I've got 8 points from him. He's kind of been the glue guy, especially given I took 2 pitches. I needed that scoring to kind of tick over. But Nick Lodolo scratched from his start with an illness, and no guarantee he's going to make his other start either. So not quite as bad as your situation, but not great either. Now, all of this would be fine if Rolsey was at the level of performance he had been in weeks 2 and 3, but he's pulled out a few rabbits this week. He put a lot of trust in Zebby Matthews, who delivered a strong start, 6 innings, 5 strikeouts, just the 1 earned run. That scored him a 7. Lars Nootbaar, the heart pick, has earned him 6 points so far on the week. But pick 1.1, Vladdy, your man, 14 points so far this week, 6 hits, 5 runs, 3 ribbies, 0 strikeouts. He has been delivering the ultimate Destiny draft performance, which puts Rolsey on 27. So
it's
look,
over.
Yeah, it's over. I mean, I've got a second Darvish start and a couple of Hap games. I don't see Rolsey without a second Zebby Matthews start, which I don't think he's going to have, can't get a negative score. Like maybe Lars Nootbaar has an 0 for 5 game with 5 strikeouts. But if you go back and look at recent weeks, I mean, somewhere outside of that week, I had 44. You usually low 30s gets you a winning score. That's without you and me having half our team on the IL. So, yeah, I think we're going to be able to prematurely crown Rolsey for this week. Maybe we're putting the wood on him a little bit. But what that's going to mean is a really interesting leaderboard, because if current results hold, you'll still have 9 points on top, but Rolsey will jump to 8 and I'll move to 7. So there's going to be plenty to play for as we approach the end of the regular season. And
which means we need to do one more Destiny draft, because that would mean that in a scenario where you win, Rolsey second, and I come last in the last week, we would tie at 10 points. And then we would have to do like a playoff draft. I don't know. But we definitely need to bring in a 5th week of the Destiny draft, because this leaderboard has changed dramatically. So, yeah.
Yeah. Gotta settle some scores.
Yeah, my team sucks. But it's not my fault. They got hurt. It happens. But yeah, Rolsey finally doing well, and he's not even here to gloat about it. This is classic Rolsey.
I know, but once we jump on Monday, we're going to hear all about Zebby Matthews and his stellar performance. So we're just delaying the inevitable, I feel.
Well, Spoon, we did well on the last one, and I'm with our picks as we move over to that segment of the show. 3 out of 4 hit, including the 371 or whatever it was. Now, I've been liking to do those. I've been kind of doing one pick that's around $2 to $2.50 return, and then I've been liking to find some that you kind of mush together in a multi that are just $3.50 to $4 range. And I've been hitting a few of those because some are realistically good shots. So the whole theory now with our 4 picks is if you hit 2 of them, we're going to make money. Might not be much, but you're not losing money. And if you hit 3 out of the 4, you have a chance to really profit. And that's what happened this last week. So I'm keen to see how our picks go this weekend.
Yeah, I love it. You've had that parachute for us, I think, and it's sort of consistently been hitting that $4 mark. And it just, that's our insurance policy when it comes off. It usually seems to randomly be like the first play of the day as well. Like you seem to like those East Coast starts, and we're often sort of playing with house money as the rest of the card unfolds, which is always a nice feeling as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what you've come up with this week, what I've got as well. Do you want to kick us off?
I do, but I'm a little worried that you have the same game, and I'm a little worried that you might be thinking differently than me. So I'll ask you with my first question. Are you touching the Braves and Mariners game?
I am.
So am I. Are you? Let's just feel each other out here. Mm-hmm. Are you liking Chris Sale?
I was keen to take him on.
I am also keen to take him on, but I'm not looking at the strikeouts. I'm more looking at the Mariners and another stat category. So I'm going to say my piece, and we'll see if this changes. I've hit the big one lately, so I get the first right of refusal. So I'm just going to jump in here. Braves and Mariners are playing. Mariners obviously scuffling. Chris Sale on the mound for the Braves. And how good was he in his comeback start last week or on Sunday night, whatever it was, right? Like 9 strikeouts, was it? 1 run allowed. Yeah, like he looked like the Cy Young stuff. Now, his strikeout line is interesting at 7.5, and I'd be keen to look at that. But I'm actually thinking the better chance of parlaying some value is a Braves win, number 1. Now, they're actually the favorites in this game at $1.75 or something. But Braves win and over 7.5. I just really don't like a 7.5 run line in this game, even if Chris Sale is starting, because I think they will be a bit tentative to him. And I don't think he's as dominant in back-to-back starts, but he will be good enough. So Sale was awesome. 1 run allowed in 6 innings. I think there's a cap on him. The Mariners, though, score 4.85 runs per game on the road, and the Braves bullpen has been terrible since July 1st. It's almost a 5 ERA since July 1st. On top of that, Logan Gilbert is starting, and you take a look at the 3.73 ERA, but on the road, he's got a 5.80 ERA. So you've got a Mariners team that scores on the road. You've got Logan Gilbert who struggles on the road. when you're giving me 7.5 runs, just looking at those metrics and some bad bullpens in there, honestly, the Mariners might win this game 7-2, and that gets the job done. They could win the game 6-2, and that gets the job done. 5-3 gets the job done. All it takes is a couple back-ended runs. I'm actually really feeling the over in this game, which I've had some success with lately, and the Braves win because Chris Sale will be starting, and that can get you 325 return. That was my train of thought.
Look, I respect it, and I respect your recent run of form to the point where I'm happy to revert to my backup play. I got a pinch hitter off the bench, so I can steer clear of this. I was thinking a little bit different. I did think Seattle shouldn't have been underdogs. I was surprised to see the Braves activate Chris Sale at all, to be honest, with the season over and the injury risk there for an older guy who's contracted for next year. And by that notion, I think they're going to take zero chances with him. So yes, he's starting. Yes, he's brilliant and unhittable. But so is Logan Gilbert, by the way. Logan Gilbert's strikeout rate is the second best in baseball behind Dylan Cease. He had a rough start last outing, but I think they're going to click over the next couple of weeks, the Mariners, and get hot at the right time, which they've done before. I mean, you'll remember that series against Toronto a couple of years ago when they finally made the playoffs, and it all was coming together at once for Seattle. I love the lineup. Like, I look at it every day, and I can't believe this team hasn't just ran away with that division now. Adding, my guys in Naylor and Gino to a lineup that already has J-Rod, Cal Raleigh, and Randy Arozarena. I can't see a better 1-5 anywhere in baseball. And so far, they're still just too bad to be true for me. So if if Logan Gilbert's matching Sale for the first 4 or 5 innings, but all of a sudden you've got an unbelievable back end of the bullpen and probably a more consistent lineup, I was probably going to take Seattle to win at 220. But let's throw all of that out because you've got your first right of refusal and you've locked it in, and that's how we're going to play.
You're right. We're going to lock it in, and it took us a long time to have a disagreement. Like, I'm literally saying the Braves are going to win, and you're saying the Mariners are going to win. So,
of course, that happens. It comes the week we verse each other in fantasy as well. It truly is a rivalry weekend, isn't it?
The pod pick is locked in, though. The Braves are going to win, and there's going to be over 8 runs because I like it. You're just like, Logan Gilbert's excellent, and I'm like, he's terrible on the road, dude. He's got a 5.80 ERA on the road this year. 5.80. Yep. 2 runs per home runs per 9 innings. So, yeah, I'm going Braves and the over at 325. We'll go for you for your next 2, though. So you'll have the refusal for these.
All right, I'll snake back. Look, this is a play I had a bit of success with on Monday. Obviously, depending, I kind of gave 2 options. You could have taken the under 8.5, which was just ridiculous for Dylan Cease at $1.80. I think with PointsBet it was. Well, Sportsbet had the under 7.5 at a juicy 230. He ended up getting hooked on 7 strikeouts. And look, I like the way Baltimore have been playing the last few weeks. Like, they obviously sold off the key pieces like Mullins and Laureano, but you've still got like Jackson Holiday, Gunnar Henderson, and some kind of exciting players who are still looking to build onto next year. And they just swept the Padres, man. Like, that, to sweep the Padres at Petco this time of year is no sort of small feat. I want to play similarly tomorrow by taking on Tyler Glasnow, who has a strikeout line of 6.5. And just based on what I've seen from the way the Orioles are going, and again, referencing teams that are not going to take any chances, the Dodgers should be winning this game. And it gets to a point where, you'll see often the Dodgers will get 5, 6, 7 runs up in a game and take no chances with the starter at all. Like, Glasnow could be on 70 pitches, and he's coming out of that game because they need him to make a decent push in October. He's missed a lot of time this year. He's only made the 14 starts. He's been back from the IL for a little bit now, but he's got a strikeout tally of 6 against the D-backs, 3 the start before against the Padres. It just feels like a spot where I can leverage the kind of results we had on Monday and play that way. So I'm going to go Glasnow under 6.5 strikeouts, $2.20. We're getting plus money for it. And it just takes that one bad inning or the Dodgers to be in enough of a position that they don't want to take the risk. And we should be taking home a little profit there. Any thoughts on that one?
I like it, and I think I said in a couple pods ago that I think I was betting a couple games with the Orioles because since that mid-May stretch where they hit their low, like 14 games under 500, they're 8 or 9 above, man. Like, they're actually playing like a good baseball team consistently now for 3 months. They just dug themselves too big of a hole, and they're in an absolutely stacked division. So left it too late. But even with their trade-offs, they haven't been that bad at all. They've actually been above average in a tough beat. So I do like them getting to Glasnow and not maybe being as easy as the Dodgers think. And the Dodgers have shown this year they are lapsing against weaker teams, and then they show up when it kind of matters the most. So this isn't one that matters the most. I think I like the Glasnow one. I'm going to jump on that too.
Cool. And that leads me to my second one. And disclaimer, this is the pinch hit play. But knowing that disclaimer, it'll probably be the one that comes off without much of a hassle. I was really surprised to see the run total in the Red Sox D-backs game. Look, Boston are rolling out their number 2 prospect. He's making his second MLB start. He was really good in his first one. He was really good. Albeit he was really good against the Pirates. 8 strikeouts, allowed a couple of runs in 5 innings. The D-backs are rolling out Erod, who has negative WAR on the year. He's just been a big part of why Arizona are where they are. He's just consistently giving up runs. He's got a 5.4 ERA, a whip of 1.62. He is letting – that's nearly 2 guys reaching every single inning. And there are just so many opportunities to score because of that. Boston are 5th in baseball on runs per game. Arizona are 7th in baseball on runs per game. The Arizona bullpen is atrocious. This is one of those plays where we could be looking at a 3-2 game after 7 innings and it's going to finish like 10-4 because that's how quickly it can melt down in the desert. It's a plus ballpark as far as offensive park factors at Chase Field. And while some books have the 8.5 at a sort of $1.80 mark, I'm actually quite liking the over 9, the flat 9 on PointsBet at $2, and we'll take the push if we get 9. But I think there's going to be runs in this game. It's obviously, sort of heating up still in Arizona, and the ball will fly at this time of year. Boston have the offense. Arizona have the offense. The bullpen is so questionable. I haven't seen many lines this low for the D-backs this year ever since Corbin Burns went to the IL, and it certainly shouldn't be with a rookie making a second start and Erod against these offenses.
I trust you because you're the Diamondbacks guy, so I'm happy to roll with that. But there's been some weird lines lately too. Like I identified one that I thought was too low. Remember a couple weeks ago there was the 11.5 runs in a game featuring the Rockies that hit, by the way, the over. It's just absolutely crazy. So you're right. When you have this many offenses and you're just asking for 9, should happen. Bullpens aren't that good. And you're right, rookie pitcher, it is some warning flags. But I think that's why it's the Red Sox, 1, so it's a big betting market, and 2, their guy has been pitching well in his 1 start, so it kind of maybe has lowered that a little bit. All right, I'm looking at pitching as well for my final pick. I'm just looking at a straight win, man. There's nothing sexy about this. I was just looking at the odds of teams that were even money, double money, and what did I like? I actually like the Reds to beat the Mets at $2, and it just dropped to $2.05. It was at $2.10, and it has to do with one guy. If it was anyone else, I wouldn't say it. The Reds need a win, and they've got their season-long showstopper on the hill today or tomorrow, whenever you're listening. That's Andrew Abbott, man. He's allowed 2 earned runs or fewer in 16 of his last 21 starts. He has a 2.65 ERA on this season. All this means is it is almost a guarantee that when Andrew Abbott starts, the Reds are going to have a chance to win the game. That's it, right? So if you're saying that it's a 2-horse race, I get double money for a dude that's going to have a shot. For a team that is pretty good and kind of hitting that desperate point, they need to beat the Mets. On top of that, Mets pitcher, I think they're going with David Peterson. He's been okay this year. He's got like a 3.61 ERA, but he walks a lot of dudes, man. It's 3.5 walks per 9 innings, and the bullpen is 22nd in the majors since August 1st and in the month of August. So I think that as long as Abbott can keep them in the fight, that's all I'm saying is leave the game 1-1, 2-2. The Reds are going to strike late and win this game. So I'm going over double the money with the Reds as my final pick.
Yeah, I like it. I was looking at something. I was looking at David Peterson earlier on. His first half stats, man, 3.06 ERA, just like lights out, as you said. He's dropped off a lot. His ERA the second half of the season's 5.02, and in August in 6 starts, he had an ERA near 7. So it's been rough. And look, it's not untypical of guys to just kind of have these fall-offs, especially pitchers. Like last year, he tapped out at 121 innings pitched. That was the most in his career. He's already at 152 innings this year. There's a lot of these guys that are just being asked to go well beyond what they've ever done before. And it's a lot of mileage on an arm that hasn't, some guys are workhorses and some guys you need to test if they are before you find out. And we may just be finding out now that David Peterson isn't, because the 30 extra innings that he's pitched since he tapped out on his 121 from last year have been really rough. And I like it. You've got a team at scoring runs at home. They were probably unlucky not to take more away from that Toronto series because they put a lot of runs on. But they just ran into a Vladdy and a Blue Jays team that could score even more runs. So yeah, to get that price about a team at home with a guy who's been consistent and is still doing it, as opposed to a guy who's maybe trending in the wrong direction, I think it's great value.
I think that's the big one, is the Abbott factor. Like, that was the selling factor for me, that like anytime you get double money for a guy that is now a legitimate ace, like that is what Abbott is. He's a legitimate ace. The numbers just don't lie when you're this deep into the season. So that's sort of why I went that way. All right, here's the summary of the 4 picks. We have the Braves over the Mariners and the win at $3 and now 30 cents. I was just entering that in to bet 365. Glasnow at under 6.5 strikeouts. Against the Orioles. What was the odds on that one, Spoon?
220.
220. Wow. Okay, I like that one. And then $1.90 at over 8.5 and about 2 for over 9 with the Red Sox and the Diamondbacks. And then the Reds over the Mets at 205. Does that about add up?
Yeah, I like it. And again, we've got that sort of opportunity with you setting us up with the parachute on that Mariners Braves game. And then, if we can add 1 or 2 sort of peripheral plays as we have been, we're looking at another profitable slate.
And then we have to take a look over at the NFL, Spoon, because that is who we're going up against. We've got some both. Who do you got tomorrow in fantasy football in our match with the Chiefs game?
I think I got the Chargers kicker and the Chiefs D. So I want a lot of the games we played in the middle of the ground.
Like at 12 points all by the opposition kicker.
By Dicker, yeah. I've got that. I don't know if you get it, but I often get that really intrusive thought to start someone I shouldn't start just to watch him. I've got Herbert sitting there as my QB2. I'm going to start Baker Mayfield, especially because I've got the Mike Evans stack. But the temptation to sit down with a coffee tomorrow morning and have that stakes a little bit higher, especially because I'm probably not waking up at 2:30 to watch Tampa Bay on Monday morning. It's there. So watch this space. I could do something reckless. It's been known to happen.
I've got Pacheco. That's about it, which I'm keen to see play. Like, that's a big pick, right? You were in our draft on that night. You were thinking Pacheco. Like, you literally, I was sitting next to you. You had a conversation with a guy, and you were talking about, I couldn't hear exactly, but you were talking about legs. I
said it was only one broken leg.
Yeah, you were talking about, and I was like, he's thinking about Pacheco, and I wanted him too. And then I thought you were going to take him, and you didn't. And I think you were thinking about taking him. He's a risky play, right? Like, what?
I had him last year, so he's going to go well for you. You've stuck to your theory of who's going to hurt me. I had him last year. He broke his leg. I kept him on the IL. I tried playing him in playoffs, and it cost me. So you can probably pencil in a good 17 or 18 points tomorrow.
Dude, if he is fine, if he's healthy and can run like he was before the injury, man, like that is a steal where I got him in the draft at like 6th or 7th round, whatever it was.
He's not a bad pass catcher either. So PPR, you're going to get those check downs. There's not a great receiving room for Kansas City this year. And it's a safe option for Mahomes when he's scrambling to just sort of dump it off to Pacheco.
That's what I'm hoping. So we will have a big sports weekend. There's lots to enjoy all around the sporting world. Spoon, thanks for joining me. Rolsey and I will be back over the weekend to break down the first few days of World Cup play. Until then, we'll catch you later.